Howdy everyone. Welcome to This Old Vegan. My name is Merlene Vassell, and in this video I'm going to talk about why, after being vegetarian for 10 years, I realized that it wasn't enough for me. I originally became vegetarian because I love animals, basically all animals, including a lot of insects as well. And I didn't want to eat meat, which would contribute to animals being killed and animals suffering. I also found it distasteful to think of eating someone's corpse. Therefore, in 1987, I finally stopped eating meat altogether. Health was a secondary reason for me. I realized that meat contains a lot of fat, cholesterol, antibiotics, and other things that are unhealthy for the human body, so there wasn't any good reason for me to be eating it. However, after being vegetarian for quite a while, I realized that I wasn't maximizing the health benefits because I was still eating a lot of eggs and dairy products, which are both high in fat and cholesterol. In 1996, I attended the March for Animals World Animal Awareness Conference. It was at that gathering that I realized eating animal products caused a lot of suffering for animals, even if the animals weren't killed in the process. Let's take the instance of eggs. To produce eggs, chickens go through a whole lot of suffering. The hens are often confined in battery cages where they can barely move around, so they're imprisoned for their entire lives and not able to live the normal life of a chicken. In the hatchery, male chickens are just discarded as trash because they don't lay eggs, and the female chicks have the tips of their beaks cut off so that they're not able to peck at each other and injure each other when they're crammed into cages and overcrowded. I should mention that the beak is not like a fingernail that has no feeling. There are blood vessels and nerves in the chicken's beak, and of course they're not giving any kind of anesthesia during this painful process. And of course, after hens are no longer laying eggs, they are slaughtered. Now, in the case of milk and dairy products, a similar fate awaits cows. Cows are kept in confinement. They are artificially inseminated, clearly against their will, in order to keep them pregnant and lactating. The calves that they produce are considered a byproduct, so if they're male, they will possibly be raised and eventually butchered for their meat, or they may be confined to veal crates so that they can be eaten with very soft flesh because their muscles never had a chance to develop and toughen. If they're female, they may be recycled back into the same system where they're being used for their milk. And again, as with chickens, once they're no longer producing the products that humans want, in this case milk, they are butchered for their meat. I was so struck by the cruelty that female animals endure for their eggs and milk that I actually included a chapter in my second novel, The Vampire and the Vegan, Book 2, Livestock, in which vampires are factory farming humans, and they are taking women and imprisoning them in a dairy in order to collect their milk. And the women are going through an analogous process of being artificially inseminated, their babies taken away from them, so that the vampires can collect and consume the women's milk. It's actually the most disturbing chapter in the book. I should say that most of the book is not highlighting in such graphic detail the horrors of animal farming, because I myself find it extremely disturbing and wouldn't want to put the reader through too much of that. Just as in my videos, I try to avoid going into too much graphic detail about animal suffering. If you're interested in learning more about what happens to animals such as hens and cows on farms, you should just Google it. I found the most disturbing information was produced by the industry itself on its websites. They don't make it a secret, the barbaric practices that they inflict upon animals. So anyway, I never wanted to inflict harm to animals, either personally or by proxy. So that was why I decided to go ahead and go vegan. Vegetarian isn't enough if you're concerned about the welfare of animals. I believe that animals, just like humans, should be free to live their lives in a natural setting, or a setting that's natural for them. And so I became vegan in 1996. Since that time, I visited Poplar Spring Animal Sanctuary in Poolesville, Maryland, several times. It's a sanctuary for rescued animals, and you will mostly find horses, cattle, goats, sheep, chickens, turkeys, and hens, and all kinds of animals living peacefully in a beautiful natural setting and being cared for by the owners of the sanctuary, as well as a bunch of volunteers that go there to work. It's really a beautiful place, and it's wonderful to go there and see all these different animals living in harmony with each other, as well as in harmony with the humans that care for them. They provide tours where they introduce people to the animals, and you also can pet the animals. So I was there able to pet a pig, able to hold a hen, and just able to watch a rooster running around following crowds of people, because the rooster was just extremely curious and friendly. I think that it's absolutely wonderful and amazing to be able to interact with another species in a loving way. And I wish that everyone had an opportunity to do so. I think that it really changes your perspective when you look at what's on your plate versus an animal that's living its regular, natural, true life in happiness. Well, thank you for watching this video. Please share your thoughts and questions in the comments. And as always, I look forward to seeing you next time. Take care.